In this video, we're gonna hit the road to take a look at a collection of 40,000 comics that sounds pretty darn promising. Stay tuned.
Bry's Comics.
Congratulations to Charles Robison. Charles, you are the winner of the newsletter giveaway for October at bryscomics.com, and congratulations to David Fausel. David, you won the YouTube giveaway for October, and check out these brand new prizes. This is the prize for November's giveaway here on the YouTube channel. If you subscribe, comment, and like this video, you're entered to win that. And if you head over to bryscomics.com and sign up for the newsletter, you're entered to win this new slab for November. And while you're there, check out all the awesome new slabs in stock. Use code COLLECT10 for 10% off all in-stock items. I have a bunch of new inventory on the way, and that newsletter is where you'll get first shot at new discount codes, new inventory, mystery boxes, and things of that nature. So without further ado, let's hit the road. All right, guys, we're in the car and we're headed to the beautiful town of Willits, California. I got Josh in the house, Josh from Stacked Shortbox. Say what's up, Josh.
What's up, guys?
I brought Josh along for the ride today. He's gonna get paid in comic books. So if you want to buy those comic books, whether we get this collection or not, he's gonna come away with some comics. Go follow Josh over at Stacked Shortbox on Instagram and whatnot. Link in the description. Go give Josh a follow. So Josh, what do you think about me hooking up this trailer sight unseen renting this U-Haul? You think that was a good idea?
No.
Dude.
So what exactly do you know about the collection?
All right, so here's what we know. I got a phone call from this lady, and she said, I'm helping a friend sell his collection of comic books. It's about 40,000 comics, everything from 12 cents on up. And I said, okay, well, you know, in order to make you an offer, I'm going to need to know, you know, get an idea of what's in it and how much you're asking. I said, do you know how much you're asking? And she said, no. Let me get you on the phone with the person who's selling the books. So I talked to the guy who actually owns the books. He's an older gentleman, and it was really difficult to kind of get information out of him. He didn't know a whole lot about the collection. He just inherited it from his father. And so, you know, everything was kind of promising. And so I tried to get some more information, and I said, so how much are you asking? And he said, well, $45,000. And I said, okay, so do you mind telling me, you know, how you came up with $45,000? And he said, well, that's how much I need to fix my roof. And so I said, okay, well, you know, I understand that, but, you know, you have to understand that, you know, the cost to repair your roof has absolutely no impact on the value of the comic books. You know, you try to be diplomatic and explain that in a way. I said, but, you know, it very well could be worth $40,000. It could be worth more than that. It could be worth way less than that. I would have to get an idea of what's in them. And he said, well, let me send you some pictures. I have some photos, and I have some lists of what's in them. So he sent a couple pictures of some random books. There was some good stuff in there. There was an ASM 300. There was some 12-cent Captain America in the photos. And I thought, okay, so either those were like the absolute best books in the collection and somebody knew that and took them out to send them as, you know, bait to get people to look at the collection, or there really is some good stuff in this collection hasn't been completely picked over. We're hoping for the latter. And so I said, all right, well, it's, you know, I've seen enough to come out and take a look. So we hitched up the U-Haul because there's no U-Haul in Willits. And so if we ended up wanting to buy it, we'd have to drive another hour to get a U-Haul once we got there. So it just made more sense to hook up the trailer beforehand. It was $40 to rent this trailer for 24 hours, fully insured, out the door, $40. So it's like a no-brainer. And so let's go take a look at these books. So this is it, guys. This is the road to Willits. We're just out here on County Roads. County Road P. This is the actual way you're supposed to go. All right, here we are, guys. City limits of Willits, population 4,888. The beautiful town of Willits, California. All right, guys, we had to stop here to refuel at this authentic Mexican restaurant. This right here actually makes the freaking... Oh, where's your elote? This makes the whole trip worth it right here. Cheers. So there it is, guys. Taqueria Maria. If you're ever in Willits, I highly recommend it. It is quite possibly the best Mexican food I've ever had. All right, so this box here looks like maybe it was compiled, like somebody at one point put, you know, some of the 12-cent stuff and maybe some of the bigger keys. These were keys that I pulled out of that box there. We've got a nice first appearance of Iron Fist, probably about a 7.5, a nice ASM 300. Captain Marvel, number 12.
It's got a subscription cruise.
12-cent, you know, mid-grade stuff. It's a nice Green Lantern key. I love that Thanos key. First cover appearance of Thanos.
I'm giving one away.
First appearance of Bullseye. Punisher #1 newsstand. First appearance of the Wrecking Crew. Nice classic Doom Iron Man cover. Never seen this before. It's Spider-Man 1. Flip it over. There's a weird sticker that says Keepsake Collection. So hadn't seen that before. I'm not sure what's in there. A couple issues of that. Nothing too big. Is that 298 or 299? 299. Demon, Man Thing, #1. So some nice minor keys in mid to VF range. This is cool. Batman 423 still in the original 3-pack comics. That's dope. It's that first cover of Red Sonja, Star Wars 1, Doctor Strange 1. So this box definitely caught our eye. It says Hulk on the side, and as you can see, some a rough grade 377 second print. No third print. That would have been dope if there was a third print. So just a bunch of, you know, nice Hulk run here. Obviously not going to pull any 9/8 out of this.
And bags, no boards. Yes, just in bags, but helps a little bit. Oh.
A little Zorro in there, some Captain Atom. Let's get past all of that. So some Thing. I don't think there's any keys in that Thing run, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh.
Let's look at the Hulks. Where's 180? Come on, baby. Give us a 180. What number was that?
This is a really modern.
Oh yeah, we're in the 2-300s.
400. 267. 60. Come on. 308. Oh, these are not in order.
So, all right, so this box here is Iron Man, Captain America, and we're gonna take a look at this and see what we got there.
Full runs.
So what's the cover price on these? So we're starting at about $1.25 on these Captains. 60 centers. Basically some back run fillers.
Oh, that's how you guys do it. That's length of time. I guess we'll see how.
This anniversary issue.
So essentially no cap keys there. Some of these Ironmans, but they're, you know, technically more modern eras. I think there's a couple decent books after this, but not much. And again, just, you know, mid to VF range, because there's no bags or boards. They've been lugged around quite a bit. So here we've got a Batman box, Batman, but as you can see, you know, no bags or boards and really rough shape on all of these. I think there's the first Tim Drake, I saw that in here, but other than that, these books are really rough. So there you go, guys. That was a little look at the collection. Definitely some good stuff in there, but certainly not $40,000 worth. You know, when I left, I asked how much are you looking for, and they said 45. And then when we got there, I said, you know, so you guys are looking for 45, and then it went up to 50,000 that they were looking for, and then the truth comes out. You know, after we traveled all this way, 3.5 hours to drive, and you know, she said that she admitted that she sent a picture of some of the keys, including the ASM 300, because she knew that would get us to come out and take a look at them. So, you know, that doesn't feel good when somebody takes advantage of you like that. When somebody baits you like that, knowing, you know, that those are the ones that are, you know, the good ones. And so, you know, I saw just from that one box, which I think was the one box that had been gone through and like the big keys were put in there, probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of books in there, but they were asking $50,000, you know, and then, you know, it went everywhere around 40,000, 45 to 50,000. And, you know, I made a strong offer. I did the account of all the books, and I think there's around 20,000 books there, based off our rough numbers, you know, maybe 22,000, maybe 25,000, you know, but somewhere around there. And so I made an offer of $15,000, which, you know, they didn't even want to hear the offer. They didn't even want to hear the offer. I said, you know, I couldn't come close to 40, and they didn't even want to hear it. So it was just kind of crazy. And then more of the truth came out. They said that there was a woman that came and spent 4 months there. Okay, so they left this part out before I came, but she spent 4 months there going through and looking up key issues and pricing comic books, and then all of a sudden she disappeared and she never came back. Clearly, this woman, you know, looted it for the big keys, and there was probably some really good keys in there. I mean, it was, you know, a nice collection from spanning a lot of years. So clearly, the big keys had been stolen out of the collection, and it just sucks, you know, that they weren't completely upfront and honest about that before we drove all the way out. And it also really sucks that they weren't even, you know, reasonable enough to consider reasonable offers. You know, when you ask, why are you asking $40,000? There's absolutely no rationale whatsoever, no reasoning for coming up with that number. You know, just because you need $45,000 to fix your roof, has no impact on the value of the comic book. So, you know, I'm open to hearing offers. I'm always open to hearing justifications for things, but you have to be able to articulate how you arrived at a number, not just some random thing that you picked out of the air. He actually said, when I said, the first time when I talked to him on the phone, I said, you know, how'd you come up with 45? And he said, that's how much I need to fix my roof. And I don't know, it's just a number I picked out of the air. He literally said that. That's not a way to price comic book collections. So all in all, we got some fantastic Mexican food. What did you think of that Mexican food, Josh?
It was great. My elote was fire.
Yeah, Josh got an elote. Honestly, some of the best Mexican food I've ever had. All right, so for my top 2 tips on how to sell comic collections, if you know nothing about comic collections, like say you inherit a collection, like in this case, you know, these people did not collect them themselves, they inherited them. Tip number 1, have somebody that you trust evaluate and appraise the collection, okay? And preferably not the person that is going to buy the collection from you. Now, I'm a very honest person. My business is built on honesty and transparency, so you actually can trust me to accurately value your collection, even if you know nothing about it. But I wouldn't expect you to trust me to evaluate it if we didn't know each other or something like that. So find somebody that you trust, preferably who's not going to buy the collection, to appraise it and give it a value and to justify why. So if they're going to come up with a dollar amount, if it's a massive collection and they do a per book amount and say that it's worth 50 cents per book, why is it worth 50 cents per book? You know, if it's worth $1 per book, why is it worth $1 per book? Or if they're going to break it down by like the major keys and how much those are worth, and then the rest of them and how much those are worth. So not just a dollar amount, but justification as to why. And anybody who has any experience with comic books should be able to fairly easily justify how they got to the value that they got to. So that's tip number one, is have it appraised. Because if you're going to do it yourself, if you know nothing about comic books, it is way too nuanced to learn this overnight and to accurately value it. And it brings me to tip number two, which is do not be blinded by desire. This is a tip that keeps coming up in all different aspects of comic book collecting. And being blinded by desire is, you know, wanting something so bad that you don't see the truth right in front of your eyes. And if you don't know about comic books and you look up some of the books that you see in this collection, and say you see the first appearance of Iron Fist, we'll use that as an example because they had this book. If you go and look online, you can see that some copies, 9.6, 9.8, are selling for thousands and thousands of dollars. And so you could get blinded by desire and think that, oh, wow, I have this book that's worth thousands of dollars. However, there's a lot of nuance with comic book grading. There's different variants, there's different, and the condition. Those are the biggest things, is the rarity and the condition that determine the value of a comic book. So with the Iron Fist example, you know, there's a Mark Jewelers edition. That one sells for way more than the regular edition. So if you don't know what you're looking at, you're just not going to arrive at the right price. So they had an Iron Fist, first appearance of Iron Fist, and they had a little sticky note in the back that said average sale price for a CGC 9.6 was $2,600. Well, theirs was a raw copy that was about a 7.5. So I think that's worth about a couple $100, a huge difference from thousands of dollars. And then they have this false idea of what the value of their books are worth. Another example from this collection is there was a little sticky note in the back of, I think it was Conan 24, the first cover appearance of the Red Sonja, and it had a little sticky on the note that said, on the list of top 100 most valuable Bronze Age comic books. And so they get this idea in their head that, oh, wow, I have one of the top 100 most valuable comic books, but their copy was like a $20 copy because of the condition that it was in. So don't be blinded by desire. If you know nothing about comic books, leave it to professionals to actually evaluate and appraise it, because what could end up happening is people could come into your home, drive 3.5 hours, make you an incredibly fair offer, and you can be so blinded by desire that you don't even want to hear it, and that offer will walk out the door. So that's my top 2 tips for how to sell comic book collections if you know nothing about comic book collections. So the question my wife asked me when I got home is, what did you learn from this experience? And what would you do differently next time? And I thought about it, and I thought that, you know, this was a weird situation where I just wasn't able to get the information that I needed over the phone. You know, this is one of those, every once in a while you run into a situation where you have to just see it in person. Most of the time, you can get enough information about a collection and even make an offer sight unseen. And then when you see it in person, just actually, you know, verify that everything's there. That's what happens, you know, the majority of the time. So if I had to do this again, I think I would probably do it again with everything that I knew. At the end of the day, I have an awesome story to tell. I got to look at some comic books. I got to spend some quality time with my buddy Josh. I got to get Josh out of the house. I got some amazing Mexican food. Like, I will go out of my way traveling in the future to stop there. That Mexican food was so damn good. So, you know, I think I would still do it again. And you know, it's unfortunate we didn't get the books, but at the end of the day, I'm happy with the transaction. In fact, I felt so awesome when we didn't buy those books. Like, I felt this immense like pressure lift off my shoulders. I thought, wow, I didn't have to buy those comic books for $15,000. We didn't have to load them all up into the trailer. We didn't have to see what was underneath and behind those boxes. So at the end of the day, like, I'm kind of happy with the transaction, as weird as that may sound. But anyways, thank you so much, you guys, for coming along with me on the ride. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, comment, and like this video for your chance to win a free slab. And don't forget to head over to brycecomics.com to sign up for the newsletter, get entered to win a free slab over there. And the code COLLECT10 is always active for in-stock items at brycecomics.com. Thanks once again for sticking with me to the end of the video, and we'll catch you in the next one. Bye.
Bryce Comics.